Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. This is Lotus Blossom Dolls here, and today we have a very special video. So this doll has come to me as a commission to be repaired from a really good friend of mine, and this was her childhood doll. This doll means a lot to her, and she would like her to be fixed up and looking good as new. So we're gonna take a quick look at her. So this is a Truly Me doll. She has brown eyes, blonde hair with bangs. She's had some lipstick applied to her. She has a smudge on her nose. She's got glitter. There's like some goop on her eyeball. She's got a stain on her front of her fabric. And she's just very dirty, very loved, very heavily played with. Her hair is a big old rat's nest. But it's not dry, so hopefully I can get it looking good again. So I'm gonna bring you along for the ride. We're gonna restore her. She's gonna look beautiful, hopefully, when she's done. So I think how we're gonna tackle this, so just for the breakdown, we are going to take her apart, we're gonna unstuff her, and we're gonna take her limbs off, I think, so we can soak this body fabric. Because this stain is gonna be really difficult to get out if we do not soak her. So we're gonna give her a little OxiClean bath for her fabric. We're gonna put her stuffing in another bag. She has some like purple goo in her eyes, so we're probably gonna have to pop her eyes out to fix them. So there will probably be a little bit of an eye tutorial in this video as well. She has a bunch of lipstick stuck in her mouth. My friend's daughter actually got a hold of her childhood doll and did this to her, so that is why she's all makeuped up. But she's had a good life. She's had a good time, and we're gonna get her all cleaned up and looking new. And then her hair, we're gonna give it a good scrub, we're gonna give it a good bath, and then we're gonna brush it really thoroughly, detangle it, we're gonna condition it so that it gets nice and soft, and then we're gonna restyle it. We'll probably have to give it a little bit of a boil wash just to get the bangs to sit down again and get the back of the hair looking nice again. And then depending on how that goes, we may or may not have to recurl the ends of her hair. We're gonna clean up her limbs, we're gonna give her a good scrub, and we'll see if all the marks on her come off. She has like a couple little blue spots on this arm, so we'll see if those come up. But yeah, so without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so a quick update. We got her head off. She has neck strings, so that was pretty easy. She is also Pleasant Company. She is a number 12. So she must be one of the earlier editions of number 12, which lines up with the timeline for my friend receiving her as a little girl as well. But the reason I was going to take this doll body apart in order to wash it is because normally the inside mechanism of the dolls has a little metal clamp, and I didn't want the metal to rust. However, this doll is a little bit unique, and I haven't seen one like this in an American Girl, so I'm going to show y'all. The inside of her body, instead of having a cup and like ball socket, she has like this extra piece and then a plastic joint holding the piece tight, and it's worked really well. Like, she's very tightly strung, she's not loose at all. It's just unusual to have, oop, I missed a little bit of stuffing. It's just unusual to have this. I've never seen this inside a doll I've fixed before. So I don't actually have to take her apart because she's tight and this isn't metal, so I can soak with this on and it won't rust. So we're all good there. I'm gonna move her to the bathroom and we're gonna get her start on her little bath and her little soak. So the next time you see me, we're gonna be in the doll bathroom. Alright, welcome to the doll bathroom. So if you haven't been, if you're new to my channel, sorry. This is the bathroom that we just use for doll stuff. So all the soap containers are just used with doll stuff. This is not like hand soap. This has got baking soda in it. Like, this is the doll bathroom. So we're gonna have OxiClean here today. And I think what we're gonna do first is we're gonna take the body, we're gonna give it a good little scrubbins. I'm gonna be using a soft bristled toothbrush and a magic eraser. We're gonna get as much of the gunk off of her as possible. And then we're gonna mix up in this little tub. I use this to wash. We're gonna mix up some OxiClean and some detergent, and we're gonna let the body soak in this and try to get that stain off of her. I don't know if the stain will come out of the fabric, but it is worth a shot, at least trying to get it out. I've also taken off my ring so that I don't get it all gunky with baking soda and This is dish soap that's in here. I recommend using a Dawn dish soap, but you can use whatever dish soap you like. So for this next part, I am gonna speed it up just so you don't have to watch this for 20 minutes. But yeah, let's get started. So I get everything really wet. I'm not worried about getting the body wet. In this instance, I'm using a magic eraser, some dish soap, and some baking soda to try to scrub the doll clean. I'm trying to get out as many of the stains and marks as possible before I do anything else, because a lot of times a good scrub is enough to not need to do a benzoyl peroxide treatment. Then I'm soaking the body in OxiClean and some fabric detergent. I'm letting that soak for a while. Do this bath. So now we're gonna let her soak. Let the OxiClean try to work its magic. Man, that body is grody-ody. We're gonna let her soak in that for however long it takes. Maybe a couple hours, maybe a day. And then we're gonna come back and see if that stain on the front of her chest is gone. All right, so it's the next day. The body has been washed and dried. The stain did come out pretty much of the fabric, but I've noticed a lot more discoloration and like marks on the doll. I don't know if they're gonna come up on camera, but there's like a blue streak down her leg and like here. And there's like a scuff here and some staining here. So we're gonna try benzoyl peroxide creaming the body, but first we're gonna take the eyeballs out of the head so I can really wash the head and wash the hair and wash the eyes themselves without the metal bit. So first we're gonna heat up some water and I'm gonna time lapse that part. I'm gonna let the head sit and get nice and soft. And then what you do is I take a knife and you're gonna basically push the inside of the back of the eye and like you use the leverage to pop the eyes out. Usually I have to do it one at a time because usually the vinyl doesn't stay hot for very long and it needs to be pretty dang hot to get it soft enough to be able to do this. Oh, that's so weird. She has like a weird neck mechanism, I'm noticing. Interesting. Anyway, that's the plan. So we're gonna heat her up to get her eyeballs out and we're gonna fast forward through some of that and then I will hopefully pop on and show you how I pop the eyeballs out. All right, we're gonna see if this is hot enough. So this is how squishy the vinyl is. Like I'm barely pressing and the whole mechanism sort of moves. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dump the water out very carefully because it's really hot. I'm gonna take a metal object that I know is sturdy. These are my butter knives. I'm gonna pop this in there. I'm gonna try to get it behind the eyeball. I'm going to be kind of quick because the vinyl cools down really fast. Oh. All right, so there are the eyeballs out. Now we can get to washing her. We can wash her eyes without the metal pieces and then we can pop her back together. So I'm gonna move this. I'm gonna go grab those eyeballs and I will be right back. Also, just on a side note, this is my setup for benzoyl peroxiding the doll. So this is 10% benzoyl peroxide gel. I have her under a heat lamp. This is like a UV lamp so that it's like being in the sun, but I don't have to have consistent sunlight because I live in Florida and we get a lot of rain. So I have some plastic wrap on her to keep it from drying out. And I have little dots of it wherever there's spots on the vinyl. There's going to be a lot of rounds of this because this doll is very stained. But we're going to let that sit for quite a while and we're going to work on the head for a bit. But I just wanted to show you the process really quick. All right, so now that we're going to work on the head, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set the little eyeballs aside. They're so sticky. And we're gonna clean her face. So we're gonna see how much of this is gunk, how much of this is staining. But she has like lipstick and stuff in her eye sockets, and her eyes are like all fuzzy. Her hair's a mess, so we're gonna give her a really good scrubbing first. So let's start that process. All right, for this process, what I like to do is very similar to the body. I'm taking some dish detergent and some baking soda, and I'm scrubbing her together. Then I shampoo her hair with human shampoo. I use something with the word moisture in it. Her hair was gross. I did end up shampooing it twice. I basically did it till it ran clear, and then I'm just adding so much conditioner to her hair. Like, I cannot tell you how much conditioner. Her hair was just soaking it up like a sponge. And then I go through with the conditioner while the hair is wet, and I brush it out. This process takes a very, very long time. It's important to go slow and be gentle and try not to rip the hair. But this process makes all the difference in getting the hair nice and soft. Don't be afraid to be really patient with this process. This takes a long time, but I promise it's worth it in the end. And then I have to rinse and rinse and rinse, and I usually leave a little bit of conditioner in when I do the boil rinse, because I find that that combination really helps. And now I'm boil dunking her in some hot water. Try not to make it too hot for the Pleasant Company dolls. I have found that for the older dolls and the Pleasant Company dolls, their vinyl gets squishy a lot faster, so you don't have to wait as long for it to get hot, but the water does need to be super duper boiling. And it is easier to do eye swaps in the Pleasant Company dolls because their vinyl just does tend to be squishier and softer than the newer American Girls. So if you are doing this on a newer American Girl, remember to be patient and remember to heat the doll up really, really good. It should be really squishy and really malleable when you do this. One of the only times I've ever destroyed a doll was when I did not get her vinyl hot enough and I ripped the eye hole. So just be patient and don't forget to take your time and just be patient. You can do it. So you can see what I'm doing here is kind of holding the sides of the head together to give myself some something to resist so I can push the eye in because it's super soft. And I get it popped in, and I'm using my fingernail to sort of position the metal down. And then I'm going to use a pair of tweezers to pull the side of the vinyl to get it into place so that the eyes are looking the correct direction. And I spend a lot of time kind of fiddling with this and adjusting it just to make sure she's looking straight again. And just sort of adjusting, and I'm being really, really careful. It's quite easy to scratch the paint on the eyelid, so I'm trying to be gentle and be careful and not scratch the paint on the eyelid when I do this. And I'm just taking the edge of the piece of metal inside the eye, and I am like sort of using that to sort of pull the eye left or right a little bit. And then I check, make sure that they open and close correctly and they look good. And I'm trying to keep as much of this in frame as possible, but I do need to see it a little bit closer for a little bit of this. But yeah, there she is. Her eyes are all fixed and all put back in. She's not sticky anymore. She's looking a lot better. So we're gonna go pop her on the dryer and let her dry. And we'll start benzoyl peroxiding her face as well and getting her looking new. A lot of her spots came off with washing, but she did have a couple spots that needed to be peroxided, so that was what we did next. Her hair is so buttery soft. It's still super wet though, so here's that next step. Alright, welcome back. So it's the next day, and I left these doll parts under the heat lamp all night. So we're gonna see how well this worked. See if we need to do another round. But I figured I'd just show you the process of this. So I'm gonna see how much got off of her face. I'm gonna rinse her really quick, but I think that this actually worked. So here she is all rinsed off, and she looks really good. All the spots I think have come off, so she is now, her head at least is now done. We're gonna keep working on the body. I'm gonna rinse it off and see how much is left to do on the body. On the body, some of these spots are being a little bit more stubborn. So we have like this spot and this spot that are, they're there still. They're kind of fading now, which is good. There is I guess most of that's come off. There was a line down her leg of blue that has mostly come off now. And then there's a spot on her knee right here that hasn't come off yet. And then I missed rinsing this, but I need to do the inside of her hand. There's a spot here and there's like a spot on the tip of her finger that's being stubborn as well. So I think we're getting close. I think we're gonna let this specific section sit for a little bit. A lot of the rest of this, maybe we'll try to angle the leg so we can get that spot too. But it looks like a lot of what's left is this hand and arm. So that is a quick update. We're gonna keep, and I'll be back in a little bit. Good morning, doll YouTube. Welcome back. So it is now, I think, day 3 or 4 of this project. And what you missed, I washed the benzoyl peroxide cream off of her and gave her a good scrub, and there's still a little bit of residue of some of the stains. I talked to the owner and she was not worried about it, but I definitely could have spent another month or so working on her, but she wanted her doll back, so I was like, how much of the staining do you want removed? But she was fine with this, so we're gonna restuff her. And we're gonna pop her head back on, and we're gonna get her dressed, and then we're gonna do the final reveal. I did pick up this outfit for her. This was the outfit requested by the owner, and I'm really excited to show y'all the reveal. Alright, here she is, all done. I'm so happy with how she turned out. I think she looks darling. I'm really excited to give her back to her mom. But look how beautiful she turned out. And she looks so cute in this little Mary Ellen outfit. So I figured now would be a good time to add that I am looking to start doing more commissions for doll repairs. If anyone is interested, you can leave a comment down in the comment section. But I'm running out of my own doll projects to restore, and I would like to keep making doll restoration content. Especially I'd like to do one for Silver Eye. So if anyone's interested in that, please leave a comment down below, and I can let you know what my rates are. It's going to depend on what you want done. But yeah, I'm really happy with how she turned out. I can't believe how cute she is, and I hope you love her as much as I do. I hope y'all enjoyed watching this, and I hope you feel inspired to work on your own doll projects. You never know how much life you're going to be able to bring back into these dolls, and it's so special to be able to give the dolls another chance to find a happy home. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below if you'd like to work on your own doll projects. Until next time, bye YouTube!